recap for the fourth Thursday. A long day, annoying day. Just took two break evens. Today I was watching uh, the highs of this range that were swept right before the market opened, and then we had also ran into this big set of swing highs here at 721. We swept in pre-market and then instantly ran into these lows, which is the lows of this little internal range, 603. So in my head, I was saying, okay, we just swept big kind of exterior highs with those 721, and we instantly ran into the opposing internal lows on this 15-minute chart. So if these lows, like, are these lows going to stop and try and mitigate this idea of a bigger external set of highs getting sold off? And I'm going to play an internal read on whatever happens there. Basically, this thing started trying to get under and hold 603, which I wanted to be bearish under 603, push the next liquidity targets below. If it wasn't going to get bought up and it was going to get in line with these big highs getting sold off. It really just was chopping around, failing to do anything. But I was noticing that we started holding under that 603, but every time we would hold 603, we would try to push lower and buy up every internal low. So in my mind, it was looking kind of weak selling off here because it was chopping, buying up every low, and then trying to reject 603 and push lower. Like every low bought, every low bought, every low bought. The extreme low that originally spiked through bought, installed. So I did not want to play anything in this chop because of that. Then we ran down and pushed into these 521 lows, which was just some kind of more internal lows over here. And then instantly flew up. Once we started flying up, I wanted to get long on 603 actually being a sweep kind of before it happened. Because this, like the behavior of buying up every low on what should be the continuation off of this big sweep up here, made me suspicious of this immediate sell-off underneath it. So I wanted to actually long once we started pushing back up immediately to regain 603 to get in line for both of them, or for 603 being a sweep off of this sweep as well. So I was wanted to actually long this thing before we got above. I thought that there was higher probabilities to be able to get a good trade with potential to get break even long right at this first internal high. If I could get a good entry fill before we start pushing into everything here. I really just couldn't get a good entry. Like there was a case to be made to take the retest here. Like I don't have everything I was looking at up here. I deleted it, but basically I didn't like the way anything set up. And then my first trade of the day came break even on a short. Once we regain that 603, which is potentially going to be a big bullish sweep off of here, trying to stop this idea of selling off all these highs. When all that did was fail to push this internal high, and then we started falling underneath internal lows and not buying them up, that's where I wanted to short 603, failing as a sweep for the time being back down into this low. And the way I was going to do that was by using internal lows. Uh, if internal lows are failing to get bought up and getting sold off of on already this bearish idea of failing to push the internal high on a big bullish sweep, then I'm about to short. So my idea came shorting off of this internal low failing to get bought up. Like we get over this 603, hold it for a potential bullish sweep. We can't push the internal low. Then we fall under, hold it, and push into this low. If this low doesn't get bought up and we fail, I'm trying to short it. So I'm watching what was happening once we were trying to hold this low. Well, first of all, we have this wick acting as support over here that's holding this thing along with this liquidity. So what is the holding of it doing? It's holding, it's pushing up. It can't break this wick, the range of this wick. Still holding the range of this wick, and then we lose it. So I shorted the retest of this internal low after, in my mind, I was convicted that we tried to buy it up, couldn't go anywhere. Everything else is already bearish in my mind. I'm stepping in line with the bigger ideas of all this sweeping up here of those highs. And now with this internal range, it's getting bearish. I took the retest of this with my stop back above the range of this wick, a few ticks above. Trying to play this 603, failing as a sweep. I was break even once I was up, like, once I got filled in this candle, Once we started making an attempt to push this low and I was up like 1R, I went break even, as I always do. And basically just got taken out break even here. And then this thing ended up dying into the lows and everything down here, which was kind of tragic. And from here, the ideas kind of uh, sloppied a little. They got a little bit sloppy because now we're kind of stalling between two liquidity levels. Although the 1 minute price action is really moving really cleanly, my like liquidity idea is kind of getting a little bit stalled. And I just didn't take anything in here. I was looking for ideas. I was formulating ideas. They weren't the most solid or the best. And I've been on for like almost 3 hours now. And at the end, I just took another break even right here. Not the best trade. I just shorted off of the sweep of these highs and that daily level holding. Once we just kept holding underneath this internal low, it's really like a similar trade to what I took earlier. We just were failing off this internal low, holding, started holding off this wick. We tried to push. We just hold the weekly level and break. I took a retest right here, and then I got break even right here. Not a good trade. I should have just called it. Once we stayed in the range off these highs, I'm past my trading window anyways. But I've just been kind of frustrated because these last 2 weeks have not been good for me. This week specifically, I'm down 2R. I've only taken Monday, I had a bad day and took 2 losses. And then Tuesday, I was on an airplane and I couldn't actually use my computer because I wasn't getting internet. And I had the paper trade and I hit 5R, which was annoying. I wish I would have got that on my funded account. And yesterday was just, I didn't take any trades. Then the week prior, I had like 2 days where I was trying to trade another funded account and trying to hit a consistency rule. So I had a set TP that had nothing to do with price action, the actual place of the TP. It was specifically set at the consistency rule. And then like 2 or 3 trades in a row, literally missed that TP by a tick or two. And it was just annoying because I wasn't trading on my actual funded Apex account, which if I was just trading normally, I would have been able to grab like 3 or 4R across that by trailing out normally instead of trying to hold for a specific TP. So it's just been annoying. I'm like break even on these last 2 weeks or down like 1 or 2R. It's been slow, but it's just part of the game. All together though, I like today's read on price. Not the second part of the end here. I was starting to force ideas off mental fatigue, but I like the read of the short right here. Once this 603 getting swept up failed to go anywhere, stepping back in line with all this big highs getting swept. And I like this original long idea right here early. I just couldn't really get an entry I was confident in. But yeah, break even day.